I'm Pastor Sarah Goettsch. I serve Gloria Dei Lutheran Church and Lutheran Campus Ministry in Iowa City. I'm a 2001 graduate of Wartburg Seminary in Dubuque. I am honored to offer a brief reflection on the 50th anniversary of the ordination of women. I come from a family of generations of pastors dating back to the 17th century. All have been male until me. I grew up hearing God's word proclaimed in a tradition that did not encourage female leadership and certainly did not recognize female ordination. When I started to feel God calling me to ordained ministry, I felt conflicted and confused. I did not receive support from my family. So, following in the footsteps of Jonah, I ran away. Not to Spain, like Jonah did, but rather to southern Hungary. Like Jonah, God brought me back, and I immediately enrolled in seminary. Like many women who became ordained pastors, this has come at a great cost for me, mostly regarding familial relationships. However, when I consider the women who have gone before me, I consider my cost minimal. 6 years ago, I had the privilege of assisting Reverend Elizabeth Platts with communion in College Park, Maryland. Reverend Platts was the first woman in North America to be ordained in the Lutheran Church back in 1970. All during worship, my mind spun with the things I wanted to say to her, the questions I wanted to ask her, and yet my tongue was tied. I stood beside her at communion and actually trembled. After worship, she asked me a simple question, and I just stared at her. Finally, as she was gathering her things to leave, I managed to muster a pathetic and rushed, "Thank you for all you've done." I was horrified by this, as well as was painfully aware of the irony of being a preacher at a loss for words. Nevertheless, I knew I had stood in the presence of greatness, of a woman who had endured much more than me, had paid a heavier price than me, and had also established a precedent that opened the door for women to walk through even these 50 years. Whenever I think of women like this and their strength, courage, and resilience, I give God deep and abiding thanks.